Hello, and welcome back to RivetingTV's Newbie Night Showtime number 3. I did that in the wrong order, but it doesn't matter, right? In part 1, we showed you the KV-1, its strengths and weaknesses, and how to defeat it in the field of battle, and how to drive it better if you are one. Or driving one, should I say. In part 2, we're going to go through the same thing with the KV-1S, the Tier 6 variant on the KV-1. And in part 3, we'll do the KV-2. All fearsome monsters that you first meet and shit yourself when you absolutely see these guys for the first time. So first of all, I'm Dorjan.
And I'm HighFlyer15.
And I almost forgot to do that. This time we have Behemoth in the game as well. He's not on comms to help us out with this situation. So we're in game now, and I can see the difference already between the two. Okay, the KV-1 had the exact lower plate. The exact same weaknesses, exact same strengths. There is almost no differences here at all. The big difference you notice is the turret. The turret is a completely different shape. And the cheeks are incredibly weak. The turret's actually lost a bit of armor for the KV-1S because they've made it a lot lighter and faster. If you guys want to show the spinning speed of the KV-1Ss and the acceleration, it's a lot better than the KV-1. It's known as the sports tank of water tanks, like the Tier 6 heavies. It's a lot quicker than the KV-1. If you have a look there, HighFly's showing off the speed and agility of the KV-1. Trying to track him there, to slow him down. Got it. Right, so the KV-1S has the same weaknesses on the side, the same weaknesses on the front, the same weaknesses on the rear. The only differences are a few things. One, the massive freaking cupola at the top. Bang! Straight through almost every time. The turret shape is reasonably similar, and again, but there's a big weakness on the back. No, there isn't a weakness on that. Is that not a weakness?
Not really.
No, that's fake. That's fake. Okay. Don't shoot the turret. Same rule as the other one. Don't shoot the turret if you can avoid it. The turret is still reasonably tough. Don't shoot that. At the back you here, you've got the entire engine compartment. But again, if you shoot the top, it bounces. Okay? Has a chance to bounce. You saw that one there, right at the back, shot down, bing, bounce. So you've got the same weaknesses and the same fire potential on the side and the same track absorption on the side. It's pretty much the same tank with that regards. However, HighFlyer, do you want to show the power of the... In fact, both of you. Do you want to show the power of the KV-1S's gun?
Okay.
Oh. So, the big difference between the KV-1S and the KV-1. Speed and firepower. Mr. HighFlyer, go through the gun, please. The amount of firepower you get from the KV-1S.
The gun, I think it's one of the guns that is the most... This is the most talked about gun because it's placed on a Tier 6 tank. And it's just insane. When you look at it. It has 175 millimeters penetration, which is pretty damn high. You can penetrate anything at your own tier. But then comes the massive alpha damage, which is 390. That's the highest amount of alpha damage beside the KV-2's derp gun, which
AP
is a derp
round,
gun.
basically.
Yeah, AP round. It is insane, but it is justified with horrible accuracy and a reload speed of 3.75 rounds per minute. So,
and the aiming time of 3.4 is ridiculously long too.
Yeah, it's insane. But you won't. The thing is that you won't feel it when you're playing because you get to fire, then retreat, and then you have another shot, and you just go out and just do the same amount of damage. And people don't notice the reload speed because the KV-1S disappears after they've taken one shot. So they go, he just shot twice, and I'm more than half dead, and I have 200 HP left, and overpowered. Nerf.
It's the big thing. The alpha damage in this game is so important. You can come out of your hiding place, take a shot, and retreat back into cover to reload. So the reloading times are not as important necessarily, or not as much of a weakness if you know how to use it. If you come out, fire, retreat back into cover, and you have allies supporting you, stopping the enemy pushing upon you, you've got so much damage potential and so much safety that the enemies don't want to come around the corner, because as soon as they do, they're going to get 390 damage in the face. And that's a lot for any tier 6 tank, let alone tier 5s or tier 4s, which they can see. Is there any armor that can stop that shell? I believe the ARL's front plate can stop the KV-1S gun.
Yeah, if they don't know about the ARL, then that one can definitely do it, because yeah, I've bounced on it just to test, because I just got the tank and I was like feeling high and mighty, overpowered me.
Overpowered.
Damn. Nope.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the basics of the KV-1S. That's how people drive them. They come out, they hide on the corner, use the speed and acceleration for a heavy tank that it's got. Boom, back into cover. Out, boom, back into cover. So that's the strengths of the KV-1S. If we hop back into game, guys, we can then see the weaknesses a bit more clearly.
Yes, we shall do that.
Oh, I'm going to change to a not a KV-1S, a T-34, so a tier 5. Okay, so the T-34, guys, has 110 penetration, 112 penetration, a very high rapid fire gun. Now, it's considered pretty much the all-rounder of tier 5. It's a great little tank, but it's not great at any one thing. It's not got amazing acceleration, it's not got amazing armor, and it's not really got an amazing gun. It's a good gun, don't get me wrong, but it's not amazing in any way, shape, or form. It's just good. Right? It's just a good tank. So we're going to put this basic tank against the KV-1S and see how the tier 6 heavy tank crops up against a tier 5 meds gun in regards to armor.
Yeah.
So if we go to that corner and do the firefight that we did with the Matilda and the KV-1 with the KV-1S and the T-34.
Totally doable.
Now remember, this is a tier 5 tank, not a tier 6 tank. If it was something like the Cromwell with a much better gun, then the armor's even weaker. I'm using a tier 5 just to show, emphasize the point, really.
Yes. But you, it's funny how it's a good gun. It's not great, but it's good. The first time I got the T-34 and got out, I actually got the medal for destroying something 2 tiers above you twice in a game. That was funny. You're penetrating me.
Yep.
What's going on?
No problems at all. No problems at all. This gun reliably goes through the front, even at this really good angle that they both got. They could easily kill me, by the way, if you look at the sort of angle we're at here. Even though I'm at pretty much the best cover I can be. Take the shot, guys. Take the shot.
Yeah, I'm aiming.
Oh, wow.
Downside.
1, 2. Oh, the second one. Where did the second one go? Oh, right into the gun. Right into the gun. No damage. Woo! So, yeah. So, you saw that. One of the shots managed to hit me. If the second one had hit me, I would be dead. Right? I would be absolutely dead, like, yeah? And that's the big thing about the KV-1S, because what you guys could do, if you want to show everyone, take random shots, deliberately miss, please, and then back into cover and then back out again. Show them, everyone, the rapid fire. I'm going to take you under fire, and you're going to come out, take the shots, deliberately miss, and then go back into cover again, take the next shots, okay?
That one didn't go through. Ricochet.
Right, let's say I was a TD, shooting down here, trying to kill these guys.
Like that one went
They just took 2 shots, which could have killed anything in their tier. Literally anything in tier 6. They've gone back into cover. Their huge reload time now is not a weakness. What am I meant to do? They're out of sight and everything. I can't do anything. I can sit here, wait for them to come back. Waiting for them to come. Oh no! They'll come back. Shoot them, shoot them, shoot them.
Come at me, bro.
Right, they just fired twice again, deliberately missing. But they could have easily taken the shot. Now, the only thing I can do to stop this is by trying to come down and engage them. Do I have enough time in this reasonably fast medium tank to get into them before they've reloaded? The answer to that is plain and simply, not a chance in hell. Oh, what a bounce! And Behemoth goes for the ram. But Yeah, that's one of the good things about the T-34. If you didn't know, it's got great bouncing potential. It's one of the really big things about it. In fact, it's like the big thing about it. However, as you can see, the reload time is not as big of a weakness as people try to make out. The only exception to that rule, and I've done this on the live streams, you guys have seen this, where I've been playing the T50, going against KV-1Ss one-on-one, and I will almost win every time, right? And that's because if you have a KV-1 in a field, and it's a really fast tank like a T50, its weaknesses become incredibly apparent. The only time they can hide their weaknesses if they can get into that situation where they can pop out. And what's it called? Peekaboo. When you play peekaboo.
Peekaboo? That's just what we just showed.
Yes, exactly. That's it. You can't see the weaknesses when they play peekaboo. And it becomes very apparent when you're not able to do peekaboo. Kind of makes you weak to anyone who's able to circle you. What's it called? The carousel. If anyone can carousel you, you're dead, basically.
Yeah.
Have you got anything to add about the KV-1S general performance, good sir?
No. Other than, well, people just tend to overrate it simply because the weakness, you take away the weakness when you play peekaboo with it, but you also have to aim for a long time. You even said, go on! And I was like, I'm aiming!
Yeah.
And you
3
had
seconds is a long time.
You had all the time in the world to just back off, and I wouldn't have been able to do anything. So,
it's not a gun you can snapshot with either, really. You can, and you sometimes will hit, but that reload time and that aiming time means that if you are doing snapshots, there's a good chance you're going to leave at a time where you need the shell in your breech. You need to be loaded, ready to take that good shot. And if you get an enemy close to you, brawling, that's also a reasonably bad situation for a KV-1S, because if you bounce, which doesn't matter how good your penetration is to a certain degree, if you bounce the shell, like happened to my T-34, if I was one-on-one with High Flyer and that shot bounced at that point then, and let's say I was at max health still, I could then try to carousel him. He would then have to reload, shoot me twice to kill me. And in that time, he has no chance of stopping any of my shells because he couldn't get his front plate on me, which is the only thing that could have a chance of stopping that shell. And I could rip him apart. The KV-1S is not very good one-on-one. It's great in a pack, like 2 or 3 KV-1Ss, because they can alpha strike anything. Boom! As they say, nuke it from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
yes, true words, my friend.
Skills. Are the skills different for the KV-1S than it is the KV-1?
You can go with more view range, but other than that, no, because it is prone to fire and not so much ammo ragging, but fire still is one of the main issues I have with it. But well, Behemoth have played it a lot more than me, so he could say if he's caught fire that much, and then
For me, I would disagree in the sense that I drive it more like a med than a heavy tank. You see, I treat the KV-1S as more of a med, so I do like things like smooth ride and clutch braking for it, because you do need to pop out, take the shots, get back into cover, you need to cover ground, and it's more of an assault tank. This is the first one I would call it an assault tank. The KV-1 I would call a fortress tank, where it slowly trundles forward, it relies on its armor to get into position, to absorb damage and out HP the enemy. The KV-1S doesn't do that. It relies on more cunning tactics. You've got to stay out of the range of fire. You've got to pop out. You've got to attack them. You've got to move into a closer position, take another shot, and you can't snipe with it because of the bad accuracy. So it's more like an assault tank. You've got to get close. You've got to take that shot. You've got to take advantage of the terrain. You've got to be moving. So I do like the movement bonuses for the KV-1S. I treat it more like a med tank. So I call it an assault tank. It's the first line of the KV series that moves towards assault rather than fortress, which is KV-1, KV-2, which you're about to see, the KV-3, the KV-4, the KV-5, and the STI, following by the IS-4. They're all kind of like the fortress tank line, where the sports model, the KV-1S, I say S is for sport, and then you go to the the IS, then you get the IS-3. All are much more similar, and they're much more like assault tanks. But you've got to get that sort of positioning.
Yep.
Anything to add or any questions about that? Monatomic says the KV-1S should have a flammable sticker strapped on it. It's flammable.
Really flammable.
No more questions about that. I think the KV-1S is covered. Is there anything else? I feel like I'm missing something.
Behemoth is burning in the face. That's funny.
No, I think that's everything for the KV-1S. I think
Yeah.
we've got it here. I think that if you treat it more like a med, a little bit more like a med, but apart from the gun, as I said, I call it an assault tank. You treat it like an assault tank. You got huge alpha damage. You take advantage of the reload speed and the speed of the tank to avoid its weaknesses. But if you get caught in an open field, you're dead. So if you meet a KV-1S, don't let it play peekaboo with you. Just refuse to do it. Just get close to it and take it out. Unless you're a really good sniper, then take it out at long range. But medium range, this thing is king. Medium range, peekaboo, this thing is absolutely king in its tier. Obviously, the KV-1, so the IS-1 follows in its footsteps. So, yeah, but that's a higher tier. We're not going to worry about that today. This is for newbies, for when you guys get to your first big tanks and you see these legendary World of tanks that are really scary. So after the break, we're going to come back with a KV-2. This thing is notorious for its derp cannon. If you don't know what a derp cannon is, you're gonna have fun, right? It's your favorite tank, isn't it?
One of my favorites, mostly because it got the matchmaking changed, so I just have small weak targets to fire at. I can now see huge numbers like 1,000 go up sometimes. Like,
that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Okay, so we're going to take a break and we'll be back in a second.